What's going on? These are a vintage pair of Pioneer floor speakers. These are a Japanese pair of speakers. It's my first pair. The model number is CS63. They're 60 watts max. I've never had a Japanese pair of speakers before, so I'm kind of curious to hear how they sound. A lot of Japanese speakers from this time period get labeled as what's called kabuki speakers, and that means they usually have a lot of different drivers in them. These particular speakers only have 4 drivers in them, and a kabuki speaker generally has 6 or more drivers crammed into a small space with very little depth for the bass. Oh, and usually a big woofer. The sound is generally labeled as thin sounding, lacking in bass, but great reproduction of the mid-range and high frequencies. The covers generally are not just fabric. I read one post where somebody mentioned a two-tone fabric grill, so I believe these to be original. But usually you see them, they have this lattice grill on them, but these ones don't. They are a 4-way driver. It's a 15-inch woofer. That's a 6-inch mid-range, a 2x6-inch horn tweeter, and a 2-inch cone tweeter. I believe they're using this as a super tweeter. Let's take the back off this one and see if we can get a year that these were manufactured in, because I found conflicting information. I found 63, 64, I found 69, and 70. I'm not sure which one to believe, so we're going to take the back off. Hopefully the speakers have a little bit of information on them, and we'll be able to get some more info from them. See how not too hard. Oh, holy crossover! Wow, I've never seen a crossover like that before. That's just a lot. Wow. Well, I'm curious to see how these speakers actually sound, which we'll be hearing them for the very first time together. I've never heard these speakers, and like I said, it's my first pair of Japanese speakers. I need to get gloves for this. This is fiberglass. It's not good to handle barehanded. Let's just see what the speaker. Oh wow, it's got a huge Alnico magnet. Oh my gosh. That's ridiculously big. I think that's a die-cast frame. Wow. One tweeter with what appears to be styrofoam. The mid-range is enclosed, covered by a bell housing. Another micro magnet for the little tweeter. That's kind of impressive. I've never seen something that big before. Well, let's put it back together and listen to how it sounds. Oh, I don't want to get no dustiness in the air. Okay, good enough. Got a high range control, decrease, normal, increase, and same for the mid range, decrease, normal, increase. And two types of inputs, got a quarter inch input and a regular negative and positive push terminal. The cap broke off this one. So this has to get an alligator clip to clip on. Luckily that's what I use to hook up to my speakers. So I already have one on. Alright, let's listen to these speakers. They're 60 watts maximum and they're an 8 ohm speaker. I'm going to use my commercial amp, my Toa one, that's rated for 35 watts. Alright, let's find this song. Not bad. Let's hear a difference, huh? It's the first time I will say I could hear the guitar in that song as pronounced as I did. These speakers do a very good job of reproducing like the middle range sounds. Not too bad of a sounding speaker. It's not one of my favorite sounding speakers, I'd say. I'm not satisfied, but I'm not dissatisfied with it either, honestly. But it's all right. It's very clear. It's got a very good upper end to it. Very good, pronounced, loud, mid-range orientated sounds to it, which is good. Even the bass is kind of like loud and pronounced and more mid-range orientated bass as far as bass goes. I think a speaker does need to be clear like this though, but I do think it's lacking bass. I like the deep bottom end that comes from usually acoustically sealed speakers. And speaking of, the woofers barely moved in that last song that I had. Like, The bass seemed very boomy that last song. Yeah, I don't know. I generally pass on Japanese speakers. Like any Sansui, I usually won't even listen to because the pairs I have heard, I didn't really care for. Of course, it could have been the music they were being demonstrated to me, and as I like more, usually music with a beat to it. But I will keep these speakers. I do like them. They look pretty good with the covers off, and even with the covers on, I'm not dissatisfied with the fabric they chose either. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day.